What if I told you Captain America and Spider-Man are just ancient gods wearing spandex? Or that the Justice League Tower is just our modern Mount Olympus? For thousands of years, humans have created stories of myths, of gods and monsters, of heroes who ascend into godhood through their legendary feats. Superheroes aren't a new phenomenon. They are just the latest iteration of myths we've been telling ourselves since the dawn of civilization. We tell ourselves tales of man becoming God, or gods among us. We even tell our stories of the beasts that lie within us. Today, I'm joined by modern saviors, and we're going to dissect the mythological DNA of superhero storytelling. We are discussing the ancient archetypes of transformation and divinity that shaped characters that people worship today.
Welcome. My name is Tristan Fields, and I'm the host of Modern Saviors.
Go check out his channel if you want some seriousness brought back to superheroes, and you can reach out to me for any editing inquiries. Check the channel description.
So without further ado, let's get into it.
It has always been mankind's desire to become immortal. From the days in the Garden of Eden, where Eve was tempted to bite the apple so that she may become like God, and Adam following suit, man has always desired to become like God. Ever since then, man's quest throughout the world has been to ensure that his name lasts throughout history.
My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair.
In ancient mythology, the greatest heroes didn't just save the day, they ascended into godhood. This transformation is called Apotheosis, and it's the ultimate evolution. Take Hercules. Born half human, half god, he completed 12 impossible labors, strangling a lion with his bare hands, slaying a 9-headed hydra, even cleaning the world's most disgusting stables. And his reward was a spot in Mount Olympus as a full god. He went from mortal struggles to immortal glory. Or Theseus, who slayed the Minotaur and became so legendary that Athens worshipped him as a divine protector even after his death. Now here's where it gets interesting. Modern superheroes follow the exact same pattern.
In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we witness Captain America time travel from 1945 to 2011. Throughout his journey, his morality remains constant, as the values and traditions of the culture around him is ever-changing and increasing in its distrust. In the Winter Soldier, we see that the man is so powerful, courageous, and unmoving enough to single-handedly bring down a surveillance state.
I feel fear for the last time.
Arguably the most famous line in Alan Moore's Watchmen is that the Superman is real and he's American. Non-believers are so desperate for a savior that when the watchmaker that became Dr. Manhattan was endowed with godly power, people immediately roped him into their desired side of a global conflict. He then exiles himself to Mars, where he reconciles about what God would do when man is at war. Through his own arrogance, he does nothing. He chooses to do nothing, because that is what the non-believer does when mankind is embroiled in conflict. He thinks that God does nothing. However, he later realizes that it is a privilege and a blessing to exist at all, not to mention a statistical anomaly. Shazam! We see the bestowment of godhood onto Billy Batson, most notably in the legendary epic Kingdom Come. As the nuke falls from the sky, Captain Marvel is burdened with the choice of letting man live or allowing gods to prevail.
The pattern here is identical. Human origin, transformative catalyst, and divine ascension. But becoming a god is only half the story. What if you were born both god and man? This next concept is so important. Entire religions are built on it. The ancient Greeks had a word for beings who are simultaneously divine and human. Theanthropic, from the word theos meaning God and anthropos meaning human. These aren't just powerful humans or gods pretending to be mortal. They exist as both at the same time. It's the ultimate duality. In mythology, this creates incredible tension. How do you relate to mortals when you're immortal? And how do you have human emotions with godlike power?
Whosoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor.
Thor's reconciliation with the human experience only intensifies following his banishment. He makes friends, he falls in love, but he also experiences loss, the most humbling of all human experience, as he explains to Rocket in Avengers Infinity War, where the last 8 years he has experienced more loss, including his father, his mother, his lover, and his brother, than the past 1,500 years of his entire life. This overwhelming experience of human emotion is enough to humble a god, to bring him into the experience of humanity.
You will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive towards.
The main driver of the theanthropic conflict is that the being experiences both godhood and manhood simultaneously, none more so than the Superman. As we see consistently across comics and films, Superman experiences godhood through his mighty power and foreign origin. However, he experiences manhood due to his entire naturalized and lived experience as man. Besides his nearly omnipotent power, his entire experience has been that of a corn-fed Kansas man who moved to the big city. Man of Steel displays this most beautifully when we see years of Clark's later life after his father sacrificed himself for his own freedom, that Clark moves through the world as a drifter, learning all the different realities of the human experience, such as hard work, dedication, loneliness, and care for your fellow man. It is required for him to go through this in order to be the Superman, because we see throughout the film that that is the process of him becoming that. He needs to experience the entire range of human emotion in order to become the Superman. Wonder Woman's emergence during World War I, as seen in Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition, signified the emergence of a new god of war. Wonder Woman can turn the tide of global conflict, but Diana was regulated to live amongst the women of Earth.
The drama writes itself. God-level abilities with human-level problems. But what if you're not a god or a man? What if you're something in between?
What if you're not a god? What if you're born below innate compassion?
This is where superheroes get really interesting and kind of weird. Meet Theriantropy, from the word therion, meaning beast, and anthropos, meaning human. These are beings that merge human and animal forms, and they've been in our stories since the first cave paintings. Ancient myths are filled with these hybrids. Egyptian gods with animal heads like Anubis, Horus, and Bastet. But this also manifests in different forms. You have Norse berserkers who channel the wolf and bear spirits, and there are also werewolf legends across every continent. Why? Because animals represent our primal instincts, strength, cunning, ferocity, qualities humans wish they possessed. And modern superheroes took this concept and ran with it.
Spider-Man is endowed with the abilities of a spider and given the power to maintain his environment by stopping the harmful pests in their tracks. He is given the God-given abilities of a predator who maintains control in their environment and uses the willpower of a man to make things right. That's his responsibility. We see a man devote himself to an ideal and become something else entirely. A man becomes so devoted to merging with the vengeful spirit of a bat that he often wrestles with the combined consciousness. We often see Bruce debate and wrestle with the disembodied spirit of the Batman, such as in Batman Ego, Absolute Batman, or Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition. Even to the point where he becomes entirely consumed by the spirit, by the merging with the animal, as Alfred warns him in Mask of the Phantasm. In order for the Therianthropic heroes to be effective, they must merge with the predators of their environment. A spider catches flies, mosquitoes, and other pests and keeps his environment in control. A bat does nearly the same, catches rats, insects, and other pests of the environment. However, when you're the king of Wakanda and in control of the African continent, you need to become the most fearsome predator of all, the Black Panther. It will keep the prey population from overrunning the place. It will keep the prey population from overpowering the authority of the king. Whether the environment is the jungle, the desert, the tundra, New York City, Gotham City, or Wakanda, the predator maintains order by being the opposing force to those that would overrun the environment.
You see the pattern here. Take animal traits and merge them with human intelligence, and it creates the ultimate hybrid warrior. Fun fact, this concept also influenced modern furry culture. Basically, people who identify with animal characteristics. But that's not something we need to get into today. Anyways, when you fully understand what these myths are and why they function, you can create something interesting and wholly original, like this. There is one Therianthropic hero that I left out, and he might be the most terrifying. Every Therianthropic hero we've talked about merges with an external animal, whether it's spiders, bats, or panthers. But what if the beast you merge with isn't an animal? The Incredible Hulk is a Therianthropic being, but the creature he represents is something far more primal and far more human. Man in his most primitive and unrestrained form. Think about it. Bruce Banner is the ultimate civilized human. He's a genius scientist, rational, controlled, and peaceful. But when he transforms, he becomes an animal. He becomes what humans were before civilization tamed us. Pure rage, pure strength, pure survival instinct. No moral reasoning, no social constraints, just pure primal fury. The Hulk is what would be if we stripped away 10,000 years of evolution and culture. He's the beast that already exists in every human. Our aggression, our territorial instincts, our fight or flight response, amplified to godlike levels.
We're not your enemies, Banner!
Ancient myths understood this too. The Norse berserkers that I mentioned earlier didn't just channel bear and wolf spirits, they channeled battle rage itself, that primal human fury. Jekyll and Hyde also explored the same concept, the civilized man and the savage within, sharing one body.
As Daniel has said, the Hulk is unique amongst all characters because his animalistic nature is the most powerful aspects of humanity. Our rage, our strength, our power, our destructive nature. The Hulk is a human on top of a human. Kinda like how you bake bread at first, but then you bake it again to become toast. It's the superpowered human in all of its destructive capacity, but in all of its capability to protect.
When you're watching the Avengers fight Thanos or the Justice League fight Darkseid, you're not watching something new. You're watching the Odysseys of old. When Superman saves Metropolis, you're watching Hercules save Thebes. When Spider-Man loses Uncle Ben and becomes a hero, you're watching the exact same hero's journey that humans have told for 10,000 years.
From the supreme deity and savior myth of the Superman, to the urban jungle myth of the Batman, to the forging engineer myth of the Iron Man, do these myths help us solve the problems of today by representing our experience, just as the deities of the past have done, and every god in between. They have helped them solve the problems of the current time by describing a being that has the power to solve the problems of that day. Superman is a man who endowed with the power of God and the ability to solve any problem on Earth. The Hulk is the result of what happens when the common man gets too much power. He will be relentlessly hunted down while also having the strength to fight back. The Batman, our shadow warrior, helps us navigate the dark alleys of the human soul in order to help us bring balance to the world and enact justice. The Spider-Man shows us what the common man would do given the power to control his environment and create it from his own will, from his own responsibility.
Understanding this is how the superhero genre will evolve. When you fully grasp what these characters represent, then you can play with the mythology and create something new, instead of regurgitating the same thing over and over again as we've seen for the last decade. Superhero movies and shows have devolved into juvenile content. There is a lack of creativity and originality in this genre because of the mindset that superheroes are inherently goofy. This is unfortunate because superheroes aren't just entertainment. They are modern mythology. The same stories of old, updated for our age. We stopped gathering around campfires and telling tales of Zeus and Odin. So now people gather around movie theaters, the new cathedrals of worship, to watch Superman and Wonder Woman. The heroes change, the costumes change, but myths, those are eternal.
My name is Tristan Fields of Modern Saviors. I hope you subscribe to Daniel and I's YouTube and follow us on Twitter. We hope you learned something. And with that, we would like to say thank you and good night.